Welcome to Collinsport Records Deep Dive. I'm Catherine, and I make music. My favorite TV show is Dark Shadows, the gothic soap opera that ran from 1966 to 1971. I have a great fondness for the residents of Collinsport, Maine, and enjoy telling their stories through song. Today, I'm doing a deep dive by request into 2 EPs of my Dark Shadows music, Blue Whale B-Sides and Rogues Gallery. Blue Whale B-Sides, a collection of 4 songs I can imagine being played on the jukebox at the Blue Whale. The cover art is something I made with an AI generator, and it's got a psychedelic 60s feel. Bubblegum cards and pinups. This song was inspired by several people. I watched an episode of Alan Gallant's excellent Collinsport After Dark series, in which he was discussing the Dark Shadows actors in the teen magazines of the day, and it sparked an idea of wanting to write a song about it. Also inspired by several friends who had mentioned in conversation how much such magazines meant to them as preteens and teens, and realizing their attraction to the actors and boy bands featured in such magazines. One of which, who actually did read them growing up in the late 60s and early 70s, said that being able to buy these magazines alongside their school friends and put up the pictures and posters, because all of their friends did, helped them to be able to cope with secret and hidden attractions, because it didn't seem abnormal or wrong if all of their friends, both the girls and boys, did the same. I highly recommend checking out Collinsport After Dark on YouTube. Whether you're a collector or just a fan of the show, there's some awesome history and information to be discovered in the Chris Jennings Memorial Room at the Collinsport Inn. Yep. Warlock Love, a song about Collinsport's favorite satanic warlock, Nicholas Blair. This song was also inspired by a few people. Author Patrick McRae and Nicholas Blair's superfan, Renee Blair. The latter is the easiest to explain. Renee had asked me for more Nicholas songs, please. Okay, cousin, you got it. The former came about from reading Patrick McRae's Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound, in which he talks about episodes 633/634, Nicholas's Black Mass Ceremony. I had only watched the whole of the Adam storyline once, as it's not a particular favorite, but in reading about this episode, it made me want to rewatch it, as there were things I'd forgotten about. So I forced myself to watch the whole storyline, and when I got to this episode, it made me think, this would be good to have a song about from Maggie's point of view. It's in the style of my beloved bubblegum pop, which at first might seem at odds with the lyrics, but I love the contrast of the upbeat music with the dark imagery. Plus, Nicholas Blair is hot. I'd be down to be his bride in a black mass ceremony. No hypnosis or drugs or magic spells needed. Use those magic hands, magic man. Carolyn a Go-Go. No big backstory behind this one. Just a song about Carolyn's daughter dancing at the Blue Whale, and it's one I can completely see her dancing to, with a flip of her long blonde hair and a rebellious twinkle in her blue eyes. Mind if I cut in, Joe? Generic Bubblegum. Definitely a B-side number by whatever generic bubblegum pop band would have had a record in the Blue Whale jukebox. It was really written to give me 4 songs alike in style for the EP. Rogues Gallery. An EP of songs by some of the bad boys of Collinsport. Quentin Collins, Nicholas Blair, Barnabas Collins, Gerard Stiles, and Evan Hanley. Cover art by Aleah Shockley. This was a piece I commissioned from her based on one of those bubblegum card and pinup photos taken during the 1897 storyline of Barnabas Collins, Charles Delaware Tate, Edward Collins, and Quentin Collins standing on the stairs. I'll post a link if you're interested in commissioning a work of art for yourselves. Ooh, those rogues. A catchy ode to my love of Byronic heroes, Gothic villains, and the bad boys of literature. Inspired by Lady Caroline Lamb's famous quote of that infamous bad boy, Lord Byron, and a drawing done by Aleah Shockley of Quentin Collins in a Lord Byron pose. Oh my, I do believe I'll need my smelling salts. Come into my parlor. Quentin Collins, the black sheep of the Collins family in 1897, comes home when he learns Grandmama is dying. He's unapologetic about his past behavior and has no intention of changing. Quentin is hot, okay? And I just had to write a bad boy song for him. I felt compelled, perhaps possessed? Geruda. That scoundrel of 1840, Gerard Stiles, is possessed by the warlock Judah Zachary, beheaded in the 1690s for witchcraft. He's out for revenge against the Collins family. And he may have found the perfect way to do so. My only Gerard song to date, but it's possible there may be more in the future. The Magic of Me. Nicholas Blair, Collinsport's favorite satanic warlock. Okay, Nicholas just screamed musical number to me. Written partially for that reason, and partially for Renee Blair, who very nicely asked for a song for Nicholas. Sunshine. This song was actually written for my rock opera Oracle, which I'm still working on. It's a song that the vampire villain Vin sings to the heroine Delphine. It's just been slightly rewritten for Barnabas and Charity. It's a very sexual song, and I think Charity, out of all of Barnabas's victims, certainly has that sexual element to it in a way you don't really get from the others as much. It's palpable. There's an element of the forbidden, sexual tension between this creature of the night and the straight-laced minister's daughter. So, yeah, it's about vampires and sex. Yay! Hellfire. Early on in the 1897 storyline, it's established that Quentin Collins and Evan Hanley are part of a dark arts boys club. This song was partially inspired by writer Patrick McRae. We'd had a late-night conversation once, that he has no memory of, in which he shared with me his Collinsport Chronicles, a series of letters and diary entries written by Dark Shadows characters. And it's a great piece of fan fiction. I really enjoyed it. Some of the characters are members of the infamous Hellfire Club, and close out their letters with Hellfire. Well, this got the wheels turning. I had a great hankering for a satanic musical number, all black cloaks and jazz hands, and I think this song fits the bill. Thank you for joining me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to see Diablos about a black mass.